Hey, how are you?
Hey, Christine, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Wait, am I back? Okay, hold on, my screen just got messed up. Hi, good to see
Hey, how's
you.
it going? It's
Good,
good to see you.
good. Hi everyone, welcome. So I guess we'll jump right into it. I'm Christine from Big Vision. Wait, hold on one second. I lost my screen. I'm Christine from Big Vision, and we are all about sustaining recovery through community experiences and lifestyle. We are a nonprofit, and all of our events are free for our community members, except when we partner in certain situations, which I'll get to. But to keep our amazing programming going, please check out bigvisioncommunity.com where you could make a donation. We are donation based. And you could also check out our calendar of upcoming events. One of those events is what we're going to be talking about today. But I want to introduce DJ Hans first. Um, Hanzi is a Brooklyn based Haitian American DJ for 10 plus years. He's been clean and sober since July 2018 and started Reprieve in November of 2019. He also works in film and TV and makes it a point to lead with love and the idea of healing himself and others through all of his ventures. So thank you so much for joining us. Big Vision and Reprieve have been doing so many amazing things together, and we have a
Yep.
really exciting upcoming event this Friday, our Hollow Clean Party. And I reached out to you to do this, our Socializing Sober series, and I thought it would be a perfect fit, especially with our party coming up, because so many people reach out and say like it's really intimidating to, party sober, especially
Mm.
when you're newly sober. And coming to something like a Halloween party where it's like a lot of people, it's, a really intimidating night. It's hard to go out that night because you know that you might be stumbling upon bar scenes elsewhere,
Mm.
costumes. There's a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people are really, really anxious to do stuff like that. And you make it look so easy. All of your parties, everything you do, there's such an easy breezy. I mean, you're amazing. Everything you do is so cool. You're an amazing DJ.
Thank
But you do make it seem effortless, and you do really make everyone feel really comfortable. And that's why I
you.
wanted everyone to kind of meet you before our event on Friday, because then they would get a sense of like, okay, this is something I could handle. I could do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, give us a little bit, give your take and your background, kind of expand on my bio for you.
Sure. Well, as you stated, I'm Haitian American. I'm here in Brooklyn. I've been clean and sober for since 2018, July of 2018, but it wasn't my first go around. I had been trying to get clean and sober for a while. I have a long history with drugs and alcohol. It's part of my story. I am not ashamed of that now, and that's also part of the reason why I can party sober and have fun. Um, yeah, I started Reprieve in 2019. There's a team of us. 2019 Black Friday was our first party. Then it was so successful that people asked for a New Year's Eve party, which we weren't planning on doing, but we did, and it was just a really magical night. And the following year was 2020, and the world shut down. So we did a bunch of online things for a while, and then we started doing Reprieve outside, which was actually like a silver lining in the cloudiness of the pandemic, because we wanted to have parties. We didn't. Nobody else was having parties. All the clubs were closed and everything, and so I just put my speakers outside on my stoop, and it kind of got us more popular because a lot of people were looking for something to do, and they were introduced to us through there. Yeah, I've been DJing for a little over 10 years. I love all kinds of music. Music has always, and dance have been such an important part of my life. I was just doing it under the influence for a majority of it. And when I got sober, I thought, I still want to DJ. How am I going to be able to do this and have fun? Because substances were so attached to the nightlife scene. And so, it was my source. It was my only source of income at the time, so I had to. And I
Right,
started
right.
DJing, and I found that I was okay, and I was having fun. And then I found another group of people who weren't doing drugs or alcohol, who were still into, clubbing and stuff like that. So we would go to regular, like, clubs and parties, and stayed till 4 or 5 in the morning, and we would have a ball, like
Yeah.
dancing, sweating. And I was like, okay, there's something to this. Like, this is possible, right? And then I went to an event where there were probably about 150 to 200 sober people, and there was a DJ there, and the place was just mad with just joy and dance and sweat and everyone. And I was like, okay, I want to do this, but more frequently and out in somewhere like in New York. For a while, I was just talking about it, and I was, asking my DJ friends or asking my sober friends. And then finally, one of my DJ friends was like, "Yeah, Jim, just do it. Stop talking about it and do it." And that was in September 2019, and then November was our first one. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so, was it really like being in that club scene and having and recognizing that you had a problem? Was that something really? I mean, it sounds obviously very challenging, but how did you kind of navigate that and be able to get sober and then know, like, was there some sort of like finding your sober friends? Were they able to like help you with that challenge and like be able to stay in the club scene, or what kind
Uh,
of advice would you give to someone who's kind of like sound it sounds almost impossible.
It does sound was impossible, and I'm glad you said that, because that's part of the reason why we wanted to do Reprieve, was to show that it is possible, and to give people an idea of what fun could look like, and it's not corny, and you're not missing out, and we have amazing DJs, and any other, we're just as good as any other party out there, especially in New York. We're very particular about our dance parties and our.
Yes.
So we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just some kind of lesser version of what you would normally consider fun. As far as how did I find it, you mean after I got sober or before I got sober? When your
I would say,
question?
well, both. I mean, once you realize that you had an issue and you were
Yeah,
already as a DJ,
yeah,
I mean, it sounds like I feel like a lot of people would be like, I can't do this. I have to change careers. Like I can't be in this space. How did you navigate to get to where you are now?
yeah, absolutely. As I realized that I had a problem, and I was still in the DJ scene and out there, it felt impossible. There was, everybody out there was doing all the things, and I was so attached to that as a crutch for when I was DJing or when I was meeting people. And that's probably part of the reason why I didn't get clean and sober earlier, because there was no option other than, having being surrounded by it. So I think what finally got me to a place where I had to, was just because of the horrible life I was living and how much I was basically killing myself. I had to get clean and sober, and then afterwards being stuck with, okay, this is what I know how to do. How can I still do this? And just going out there and doing it. It was smaller events at first, and I kind of stayed out of the, when I first got clean and sober, I stayed out of the, the stereotypical club scene. So I
Right.
did a lot of private events, and I would, call people before and call people during if I had a problem or if I felt triggered, or I would text people, and then afterwards I would check in with people that I had told before, like, hey, I'm holding myself accountable. I'm gonna call you after I'm done with this so that I can hold myself accountable. So I would have all these kind of like, you know, uh, check marks or whatever, or ways to kind of hold myself accountable, and to not to cheat on my sobriety.
Right, right. To stay
Yeah,
on track. Yeah, for sure.
exactly.
That's amazing. And one thing you said before about like you're very particular about the parties and you want to make sure that they're like at the same kind of level. I can attest to that. They are 100% at the same level, if not better, in my opinion. They are not, and then obviously one of the reasons that we love partnering with you guys, they're not. It's not partying in a church basement. It's not partying in, like it's not a oh, we're going to put this little group together for like a sober gathering. It is a party. Memorial Day, we were at the same venue that we're going to be at on Friday,
Mhm.
and it was insane. I remember saying like, I can't believe I'm at work right now. Like this is not work. I feel like I shouldn't, this is like I'm like cheating. This is not right.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. Everyone was dancing, like everyone was dancing. And if you're nervous and you don't want to dance, you always set up something, which I absolutely love. You have some sort of other thing going on, at like an arts and crafts. We were making like a little wreath thing that we had going on. Every event has some sort of place where you can, do something with your hands. You're not awkwardly standing around like, oh, I'm not ready to dance, but I'm not, I'm not talking to anyone. Like, what do I do?
Right.
You kind of
Right.
have all bases covered, which is really, really fantastic. And especially for our community, and everyone, it's so needed. And our first stoop sessions, which were the events that you had out front on the
Yeah.
street, I mean, those were amazing. You had people coming by, just wandering by, and they joined in, and it
Right.
was incredible to see people just And back then we were all masked up, and
Yeah.
we did the masks and the sanitizer, and we made sure we had everything covered, and people were still having a ball. And
Absolutely.
I mean, that really, that I remember that, like, getting us through COVID. That I was like, I don't know if we could do, we didn't know when we were going to do events anymore in person. And
Yeah.
when we had that party, I was like, all right, we're back,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. I mean, and to go back a little on the experience of Reprieve and people feel uncomfortable, that's, the first thing that kind of stops people from trying to go out dancing or partying or doing events sober, or if you're sober curious and you're kind of trying to navigate that space and asking yourself if that's something you want to even try to do, is just, how do I do this sober? I'm uncomfortable. Usually when you are comfortable in a situation, you have a drink, you loosen up, and then you get into that mood. So Reprieve has gradually gotten to the place where it is now, because in the beginning we were just like, okay, let's just throw a party, and we did notice that people were standing around, and people were awkward, and like I wasn't on the mic as much, and we didn't have an MC that was on the mic and loosening people up. So we were like, okay, we have to kind of figure out how we can get people engaged, how we can make people feel comfortable, how we make people feel safe, uh, and get to this place where they kind of let that first layer of awkwardness loose and then get on the dance floor. So that's why, our focus is on love and safety and community and family. And so we make it a point that everybody that's part of the team is there and saying hi to people. Like, one of our mottos is say hello to someone you don't know. So we encourage that. We encourage people to do the arts and crafts table is a huge part of it, because you get to kind of loosen up and have some conversation in the same area while you're listening to the music,
Right.
and not feel like the pressure of having to be on the dance floor. So it's all these little parts and elements from the beginning, from even before people are even in the room, that we make sure are in place so that you could finally feel comfortable on the dance floor, which is the ultimate goal.
Yes, for sure. And it's really well thought out. I've seen, obviously, having done our events, I've seen, just watching everyone, and like, you see it's successful because you can see that people are like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go over there. And then you see that they gradually start to talk to people and, mingle, and they're able to do that without substances. It is able to be done. All of your parties, people are doing it, and
Hmm.
they have an amazing time. And we stay late. Like, the parties go late.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and like you were saying out till 4 a.m. Like, I mean, that's nuts, but I can't imagine doing that now. I'm too old for that.
Wow.
But it can be done without substances if you're having a good time, and the music being good is key. So
Yes. Yes. And
and
we are very,
you guys all provide that.
yes. Yes. We're very, we're happy to have our resident DJs. I'm a resident DJ, KK47, and Maya are like wonderful DJs, and we have a wide variety. We go from hip hop to house. We have like, Haitian music in there and Arabic music in there, and we provide. I mean, it's New York, so we got to keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. You
Yeah,
cover all bases.
exactly.
So you covered the tip. I'm going over what I want to make sure we cover today.
Of
Our
course.
tips on socializing sober. So obviously, like, and the previous socializing sober series that we've done, I always make sure that I get, like, what people do that works for them,
Hmm.
in hopes that it kind of like sparks something with, someone who's watching this. And
Hmm.
for sure, making sure that you have an accountability partner, that's key. Reaching out
Yes.
to someone, letting them know, like, hey, I'm going to this party. If things are, a little crazy, I'm not feeling okay, so that you're able to reach out to someone, and that you're setting yourself up for success.
Right.
But also feel free to bring someone to the party with you,
Absolutely.
making sure that you have, bring a companion, someone. They don't necessarily have to be in recovery or sober, but someone who can support you.
Hmm.
And making sure that you're if if you want to go to a meeting before, a meeting after, if that's your thing.
Hmm.
Just making sure that you have these things set in place, like you said, a checklist of things that you can go through to make sure that you are absolutely set up for any scenario. And then even when you're at the event, having being ready to socialize and kind of what to say, or like what you're comfortable sharing if someone asks about like your story, if you're into sharing that, not necessarily ready to share that, just having those things ready to go is super helpful.
Yes, absolutely. I found that the more you do it, the more confidence. Because I mean, I'm out all over the place, and if people ask me for a drink, I'm just like, no, I don't drink. And then the level of confidence that I say that with allows people don't even question it, right? But
Right.
I do know when I first stopped drinking that I would kind of be hesitant or like, yeah, I don't drink, I'm sorry, and then people would ask questions.
Right.
So the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, and then people don't ask questions. Also, I mean, it's 2022. People are more aware of
Exactly.
addiction, of like mental health, and all that. So people are, a little more open to any of that in general. I
Right.
would also say gradual, like beat yourself with a feather, right? Is what I say. Like be kind to yourself and gradually do the things. Like it's not like you have to do a rave the first time you go out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
just go to something smaller and see how you feel and leave whenever you want to. And then the next time maybe you stay a little longer, and then the time after that maybe you go to a bigger party or a concert. And it's like it's steps. We had a whole lifetime of doing it a certain way, so we're not going to get it in a day or a week or a month. Even sometimes it takes a little practice if it's really something that you know you want to be part of your life.
That's perfect. That's absolutely spot on, and that's so helpful. Um, and then, so we were also, oh, you were also talking, and I know you covered this, but dancing, and that's one of your tools that you use as a source of healing, and how that's been helpful for you. And I definitely
Yeah,
see you get out there on the dance floor.
yeah. I think mind, body, and soul, right, are connected, and the body moving is such a vulnerable thing, right? It's really a vulnerable thing to do, to move your body in a way that feels natural or unnatural sometimes in front of other people. And to get into a place where you're comfortable moving your body in front of other people it's really healing. It's really kind of like a way of being vulnerable. It's like therapy without the words. It's really a form of expression, and it's beautiful. And to share that space with other people, especially other people who are not on any substances, and you're all connecting, and everyone's kind of
And it's
enjoying
authentic connection.
energy. Yes, yes, yes. It's great. So I really think it's healing. It's exercise. Exercise, we know, is a very important part of recovery. So I feel like dance is definitely one of those tools. There's definitely every few weeks, if I haven't gone out dancing, I'm like, I need to go dancing.
I need to move.
I need to let this out. Yeah, yeah.
Do you love watching from behind your DJ booth, like watching everyone and just seeing all the magic happen out there?
I love it. That's why I love being a DJ. It's funny because oftentimes a lot of my friends get married and they're like, Hans, we want you to be invited to the wedding, but we kind of want you to DJ too, and we feel bad after the DJ. And I'm like, no, that's literally my favorite place to be. So I
Oh,
would
that's
rather be
awesome.
behind the DJ booth, watching everyone like in pure joy. Oh,
Oh, that's
it's so good,
awesome.
so good.
Yeah.
Yes,
I get this sense, like I see you up there and you're like, you're doing your thing, but like I feel like you're taking it all in. It's very, very cool.
yeah, it's great.
Any other tips that you would give anyone, who's nervous about Friday, and then I'll obviously give more details about Friday, but anyone, if they're nervous, and I know a lot of people, they kind of like they'll watch our Instagram stories, or they'll watch this and be like, look, I really, I want to go, but I'm kind of on the fence. What's something that you would say to someone who's, let's say someone reaches out to me and they're like, Christine, I really want to go. I don't know if I could do it.
First of all, I'll say it's totally okay if you don't. That's fine. There's no pressure. Secondly, we get those texts all the time, those DMs all the time
Oh,
too.
you
I
do? Good.
specifically in July, someone texted, and we have our team is very responsive to people who ask those kind of questions, and it's like, okay, when you're there, if you get there and you're alone, then come and talk to us. Like this is what Hanzi looks like. Even though he's the guy behind the DJ booth, and you feel like he's unapproachable, just go say hi to him. Or this is Mary. Mary is gonna be at the arts and crafts table. Go say hi to them. Or Maya's gonna be at the front. At least so then you have some names and some people that you know are part of our team, and you could just say, "Hey, I'm new. I'm nervous," and straight up from the beginning, we'll be like, "Okay, great. Why don't you go here? We'll get you a drink." And having somebody there that understands your situation is very important, I feel like, or something that can help you. Going with a friend, like you said.
Yeah.
And then also for me, kind of like a life hack is everybody is just as scared as I am. I've come to that realization in everything, in a meeting, like a business meeting, in a job interview, in the streets of New York. Like usually people are just as nervous and afraid as I am. And I thought that I was the only one that was nervous and scared, and everybody else had this like swagger about them and could just live life, wonderfully. But I've come to the realization that we're all human and we all have these fears and insecurities. So when I was able to kind of see that everyone is operating at the same frequency, it kind of just made me feel less alone and less nervous, honestly.
Yeah. That's perfect. That's so true.
Yeah,
And you could consider this like a practice run, coming to
exactly.
this party, this is practice for the next party. And like you said, the more you do it and the more experience you have, the more your confidence goes up. And then you're like, yeah, I've got this. This is no big deal. Which is like now when like watching you dancing and hosting and emceeing, you're like your confidence is through the roof. You've got this.
And you know what's
You're
funny
that-
is like I'm every single Reprieve party, I'm nervous.
Really? I
People were
would
like, "There's no
never
way."
think.
I am very nervous. I don't like sometimes. I don't always like talking on the microphone. I feel like I'm gonna say something stupid
Oh my
or I'm
God,
not
I
gonna
would
say the right thing. So even
never,
me, you
ever
see
guess
me.
that.
Yep, you see me
So
up there, and
everyone
it's like,
watching, you've heard it here. You've heard it here first.
yeah,
So
I'm
everyone's
I'm
nervous.
very
You're all
nervous
in the
back
same
then.
boat.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, that's amazing. So the party, the details are our Big Vision Reprieve Hollow Clean Party is this Friday, October 28th. It is at Brooklyn Commons, which is 495 Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn. Um,
As you can.
and so for tickets, the Eventbrite, the Reprieve Eventbrite link, you can go to bigvisioncommunity.com and it is on our top banner, or you can check out our events page, or it is on Reprieve Parties Instagram. There's links, link in the bio. We have a link in our bio. Many places to get tickets.
Yes.
And costumes. We're wearing costumes.
Oh yeah, we're wearing costumes, and I actually don't know what my costume is yet. So I'm gonna
Me
ask.
neither.
I'm gonna ask the Instagram world out there what I should wear, and then
Oh, that's a good idea. All right.
yeah.
Ask them what I should be too. So, because I need some ideas, please.
Yeah.
I'm running out of time. But yes, costumes. And if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling nervous, you could always reach out to me, to DJ Hanzi, any of the Reprieve team, any of the Big Vision team. We are all here to support you no matter what. And take these little tools and checklists and prepare yourself, set yourself up for success. And I could safely guarantee that you're going to have an amazing time because every party is absolutely fantastic.
Well,
So I
thank you.
really look forward to seeing everyone on Friday. Reach out if you
Yes.
have any questions. Does anyone in the chat right now watching have any questions? I know someone said it's going to be their, I think scrolling all the way back up, someone said it's going to be their first time getting down sober, and I am so excited for you. I
Oh
know you
yes.
have
Oh, you will
an
get down.
amazing time. Yes.
Ty, I see Ty. Yeah, you will definitely be.
Yes. I'm going to see if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, go get those tickets. Check out the links in our bios, and we will see you on Friday.
Yes. See you Friday. And if you don't have a, oh wait, be a
Ooh,
minion.
a minion.
Oh man, yes.
I
And
got like
if you don't have a costume, don't let that stop you from coming because
yes. Oh,
some people won't. So it's not a big deal.
yes. And I have Big Vision's bringing, we have like masks. Like, so if
Oh
you want
great.
to wear like not a COVID mask, like a mask. We have those too, though, if you want to wear a COVID mask. But yeah, so we'll have some stuff. If you don't have a costume and you want to like pop one of those on, we'll have those. So,
Nice.
all right. Thank you so much for doing
No problem. Well,
Okay.
I'm here. Yep, I
Sorry.
got you. No problem.
Thank you so much for doing this, and we will see all of you on Friday.
Bye, Christine. See you Friday.
Bye. Bye, everyone.